righty, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the daily Roundup webinar, and we just have a lot of consolidation going on. I'm going to let you know about a couple of things that I did here just a little while ago. I actually took the dollar Mexican peso. I had a long from this last week, right around this area, like the 68, 69 was where my average was, and I'm like, I took it off today because it's like, okay, well, having a lot of resistance up here. Stocks are holding up, so I'm like, I'll just take it off for now. I wouldn't mind buying it again, and I probably really will on any approach back to 2040. If we can get back down there again. And I bought like the US dollar South African rand a little earlier this morning at 80. I think I paid 83 or 84 average, and I got out of it just a little while ago because I'm like, well, I don't know if I really want this either. When stocks are consolidating the way they are, I'd rather just, kind of have cash positions and be ready for the market versus just kind of assuming I'm going to know what's going to happen. So I am keeping my US dollar Norwegian krona exposure because I think that we have a lot of support here. I'm just more worried that we're developing a bit of a wedge. It really is my only dollar exposure at this moment. The euros bounce back up towards the 70s. And, I think we're going to have, some resistance back at the 70 or 80 level. If you look at the dollar index, is probing this trend line support. And my drawings may not be correct. I'm drawing a trend line off of these lows, but, we could adjust that because that's kind of what you do as a technician. You have to adjust on the fly. We might be like this. Maybe the dollar ends up holding here. What's the behavior we've seen at the end of the day for the last couple of sessions is we've seen the dollar kind of firm up as stocks weaken right at the end of the day. So that could very easily happen today as well. I just think that, maybe it's going to be tomorrow that we look for tomorrow we look for some, activity or maybe volatility, coming out of the producer prices because CPI didn't move the needle today. So maybe producer prices are going to move up a little bit. And I mean, if you think about like all the supply chain disruptions right now, producer prices have a risk of being substantially higher tomorrow than expectations. And if they do that, obviously you're going to get the dollar very responsive in a situation like that. So I think PPI numbers tomorrow might be the most important numbers of the week as far as US goes. We do have later on today FOMC meeting minutes, but like I said this morning, I'm not expecting a lot out of that. Denise just said, do you think the FOMC minutes coming out today at 2 p.m. will result in any movement? The answer is obviously what I just said. No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be kind of quiet. I think it's going to be fairly quiet. Like I said on the FACE webinar this morning, what are they going to say that we don't know already? Ryan did mention that maybe it might help people understand like the dot plots and where those are going. But, again, I'm not sure if it's going to be a huge market mover. So I think producer prices are going to be the mover tomorrow of the week. But it was either going to be CPI or PPI, and CPI didn't do anything as the numbers were in line. I'm going to take a look around the board, but I just want to say that I'm not. We were just mentioning this in the chat room a couple hours ago with Ryan. I am so unexcited about anything the market has right now. Like there is not much that has my attention at this moment, other than I'll say this. There's obviously news surrounding this crude oil move, right? So, I mean, we got to watch crude because if crude comes back down below 78, I think that'll shake up the market a little bit. I think that's a bit of a risk right now. You look at stocks, we're stuck in the wedge. Like we're not going anywhere. I mean, look at this is a daily chart. So just, we are smack dab in the middle of this wedge. It's dangerous. It's dangerous when you get stuck in the middle of something, because this is where you get chopped up, right? So if you are in the middle of a range and you're out there trying to trade, this is how you can get really just kind of, slapped around. So for me, like I said, I pulled, I've got some, Euro Aussie I'm holding underwater. I've got some Euro Sterling I'm holding underwater. I got US dollar Norwegian krona, which is, slightly negative, but not very. I mean, it's pretty, just not far from break even. I got some Aussie New Zealand I'm holding that's, not too far away, and same with some Aussie yen. I'm not overly concerned about anything right now, because, and nothing's really like a high conviction trade. And the reason why I'm not worried about anything is because I know we're in the middle of a range. So when we're in the middle of a range, things are going to, flip flop around a little bit. And so the name of the game is when you're in like this range environment in the S&P where we're drifting lower, but we could very easily see 4,400 or 4,250. Either one of those levels could be very easily touched in the next 24 hours. So when you have a situation like that, it's important not to panic, trade smaller size, wider stops, let your trades move a little bit, and go from there. Because like, until I see some big developments in the market, I'm just not excited like about anything. I wanted to get excited about the euro Mexican peso a couple of days ago, but that's not doing anything. I mean, the Aussie still looks like we're going to get to 74 cents. I have, one of the things I am trying to do. So this is maybe another strategy for you guys. Hold on, let me grab a drink of water. Excuse me, I just coughed. My son's had a pretty persistent cough. The kid that had COVID, month and a half ago, he had a cough from this weekend after playing in soccer tournament all weekend, but he feels good, feels fine, but he's got this persistent cough, which is like, what do they call it? CSV. It's a respiratory thing that's going around right now with kids. So I'm always like worried that I'm gonna pick some of that up. Oh, the joy of having kids around. I love kids, obviously, love my kids, but as you know, there's the risks, right? So what was I going to say? I have an order in the dollar Canadian. I'm trying to pick it up right here. This is so I know we're in a head and shoulder pattern. Well, what people are looking at as a head and shoulder pattern, right? I'm trying to pick up the dollar Canadian right here at the 618 retracement, 127% extension of this move at the 123.80 level. I have an outstanding order that'll be there for like the next 24 hours or so that I'm trying to pick up a little bit just for a bounce. But, other than that, and I think that that's a risk right now with the dollar CAD, but we'll see, see what happens with crude oil. Maybe crude makes a bit of a move, and anyway, copper is ripping right now. Holy cow. Let's take a look at that. I just glanced over to just take a look with one of my eyes, and I just saw copper ripping. So let's go take a look at it. Bam, dude, that's a big breakout right there. Holy cow. That is big. Wow. I'm going to actually have to, I'm going to have to post that on Twitter in a little bit. A big move. All right. Well, I'll go do that. So just keep an eye on copper. That means that, it's possible the Aussie is not too far away from following. So anyway, Good luck, everybody. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Thanks for your support at all times. I appreciate it. And, we'll get through this low volatility environment. We've had some good volatility the last few weeks. So, it makes sense that we have a day of consolidation, day or two or three. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.